Hey guys, thank you very much for joining again. I believe that the ones who come here all the time will come again. So thank you for that. And thank you guys for watching the recording. If you're watching the recording on my Facebook or in my Facebook group, Expats in CZ Help and Support Group, or on my YouTube. Today's topic is very recent because actually this information appeared on the website of the ministry just today, couple hours ago. We already knew about it since probably last week, but we wanted to confirm because there is one thing that changed, but we didn't know if the ministry would reflect it in their practice. But they did, so I decided to do a live stream about that. And what's the change? Basically, what happened is that there are two kind of theoretical numbers describing the life in the Czech Republic. One is so-called existential minimum, which means that's like a theoretical number saying how much. Now I'm frozen on Facebook. I'm back. So that's a theoretical number which says how much money a person needs to survive for a month. That's a very low number, like 2,700 crowns, but someone somehow calculates that. And then there is a livable minimum, which is an amount saying how much you need to kind of live in the Czech Republic for a month. Not like survive, but slightly higher. And both these numbers increased as of 1st of April 2022. So also everything which is based on these numbers will increase as well, or has already increased. And that's the case of the requirement for the funds or monthly income for any type of long-term visa or long-term residence permit in the Czech Republic. And it applies to permanent residence holders or applicants, not holders, but applicants as well, and also to partnership visa applicants. So basically what happened? If you're applying for a long-term visa for the Czech Republic, you need to show that you have enough money in your bank account. If we take the highest amount you need, that's for the business visa, freelance visa, self-employed visa, whatever, just the business visa. And the requirement used to be 124,000 crowns and 500 crowns. So 124,500 crowns. Yeah. But from the 1st of April, or effective from today, because today the information appeared officially on the website of the ministry, then this increased to 137,000 crowns. So if you're applying for a business visa, doesn't matter as an English teacher or IT professional or any other type of business, you need to show now that you have at least equivalent to 137,000 crowns in your bank account. If you're applying for a different type of long-term visa, a student long-term visa or a family reunification long-term visa or the other purpose of stay, you still need to show that you have enough money in your bank account. It's not the dead high number, but you still need to show some amount. Used to be roughly 94,000 crowns, slightly less than that. Now, after the increase, it will be at least equivalent to 2,000 crowns. So from 94 to 102,000 crowns for students, family reunification, the other purpose of stay, cultural, or all the other types of visas. Kids below 18 pay or must have half of that. So that would be 102,000. So let's say 51,000 per person, which is younger than 18 years old. So that's for the long-term visas. For the long-term residence permit, besides the one for student purposes, because you can still, even for the residence permit, you can still show that you have enough money in your bank account, and that's enough. But for all the other long-term residence permits, so long-term residence permit with the family reunification purpose, or the business residence permit, or student, as I mentioned, is different. But any type of long-term residence permit, you need to show that you've been making enough on monthly basis. And how much is enough on monthly basis? There is a special calculation for that, where you calculate the livable minimums of all the family members, then their accommodation costs, you combine it all together, and that's the minimum amount you need to be making. So we have a couple articles about that on our Move to Prague website in the blog section. I've shot some videos about this topic as well. So if you want to know more, either go to movetoprague.com or go to my YouTube channel and just search for livable monthly income or something like that. You'll find it. But the point is that these numbers increased as well. So the livable minimum for single person increased, and the livable minimums for family members increased as well. And also the costs of living increased as well. So now you need to be making a bit more than like 5 days ago. So yeah, that's the whole point. So for some people, this can be a complication because it actually increased 2 times in the last 3 years or 2 years, let's say, from, for example, the business residence permit. Business visa. Sorry, guys, it's a bit late already. So my brain is tired, but it's still Monday, so it's okay. But let's say 2 years ago, before the last change of the law, the minimum requirement for the business visa applicants was 110,000 crowns. Then it increased to 125, let's say, and now it's 137. So in the last 2 years, basically they added more than 25%, and let's say $1,000, maybe more. It's actually more, from 110 to 137. So it's like maybe $1,300. So that can be pretty significant difference. Hard to say for the long-term residence permits how significant it will be, because the salaries increased as well, at least on paper and officially. So we'll see. But this is something I wanted to share with you because it's very fresh. So please share it, guys, because the thing is that if you applied for, okay, what does it mean for your application? That's a good question. So if you applied for your visa or residence permit before this change happened, so officially it was 1st of April, even though ministry only showed the information or changed the information on their website today, but officially this change happened on the 1st of April. So if you applied for your visa or for your residence permit before 1st of April this year, 2022, then nothing changes for you because you applied under the old rules. You will be approved or denied under the old rules. So no problem there. But this is a mainly concern for those people or those of you who will be applying now, meaning after 1st of April 2022, because for you the new rules will already apply. So that can be very, very like dangerous if your let's say visa appointment is scheduled for tomorrow, or it was today, or will be 2 days from now. Because if you counted with the minimum requirement and you had the money like right exactly the amount or slightly above that, what can happen is that now the proof of funds or proof of monthly income will not be which you plan on presenting at the embassy will no longer work because the amounts are low. So be careful about that. If your application, or if you're submitting your application today, tomorrow, 2 days from now, or a week from now, make sure that you will change the proof of funds, or that you have enough money there already to meet the new requirements as well. Because if you submit the application with the old amounts or proving that you have enough based on the old amounts, if you're not meeting the new rules, the new requirements, the new limits, then your application can be denied. And for the long-term visa, that's an easy thing to do, to deny your visa application. For the long-term residence permit, they need to send you a letter saying you're not having enough money. Send us proofs that you do, and that's fine. You can repair it. But if you apply for a visa, if you have even like 2 crowns or 1 crown below the limit, they can deny the application and they will not ask you any questions. So be careful about this, guys. Share this. If you know someone who will be applying shortly, share this with them, because it can be the difference between like getting the visa approved and denied. So hopefully this will be helpful. That was the official part. Let me now see the questions. Chantal Naidu, Thank you very much for joining and for the question. Hello, Jan. Thank you for your support to foreigners here. Can you give an example for 2 adults and 2 kids for family reunification, please? Family reunification visa or family reunification residence permit? I will give you example of both. Just for the visa, it will be easier to count. For the residence permit, it will be a bit more complicated. So let's say if you're applying, you need to count with me, okay, Chantel? Try to count it. But you're probably watching from the phone. But if you have another phone, or if you can quickly count it, count with me. So let's say the main applicant is applying for a business visa. So let's say an English teacher or whatever. So that would be 137,000 crowns for the main applicant, 137. Then the spouse needs to meet at least the let's say now 102,000 crowns. And then the 2 kids would need to meet, each of them, if they are below 18, they would need to meet half of 102,000 crowns. So let's say 137 plus 2 times 102, so that would be 200, 339, 341. 341,000 crowns for family of 4, 2 adults and 2 kids, if one of you is the business visa applicant. Daria, thank you very much for the scarf. Don't you know whose scarf it is? Yeah, so that would be for the visa. Of course, if you are both, for example, one of you is the main applicant is a student, then it would not be 137 but 102. So it would be slightly less, but roughly 350,000 crowns for a family of 4 in your bank account. If we're talking about the residence permit, then the calculation is a bit more complicated. I'll try to find out now the exact numbers, but you will need to I've been living here for 2.5 years. Would I have? So let me move you like this, and let's calculate together, okay? So if you're a family of 4, so the first person in the family, the main applicant, would be 3,910. So let me calculate it. 3,910 plus another adult would be 3,530. 3,530 plus the kids. If we say the kids are between 15 to 26, just to have the higher minimum, so that would be 2 times 3,050, so that's 6,100 plus 6,100, so that would be the livable minimum. So 3,910 for the first adult, for the main applicant, 3,530 for another adult, the spouse, let's say, and 6,100 for 2 kids, which are between 15 and 26, and plus sorry, the dog is biting here something. Sorry. Okay, and then we need to add the accommodation cost, which for 4 people in a family would be, unless if you show the ministry your lease agreement, if you're applying for the extension of your residence permit or something, and you show them your lease agreement, they will be calculated with your real rent, which can be either beneficial if your rent is lower than the required minimum, or it can be productive if your rent is higher, because in that case you would need to be making more. But let's say if you show the proof of accommodation form, not the rental contract, not the lease agreement, then for 4 people in a family, the accommodation cost is 22,495. 22,495. So let's see Google, what you say, the calculator in Google. So for 4 people in a family, you would need to prove at least 36,035 crowns. 36,035 crowns. So that would be for 4 people with 2 kids. Yeah, so that's actually the highest. That's actually the highest amount you need to have, because I calculated with 4 people and with 2 adults and old enough kids. So if you have younger kids, it will be slightly less, but not really anyhow significantly. So for 4 people in a family, 36,000 something. So let's say 37 to be on the safe side. And we're talking about a net income. So not about the gross salary you have in your employment contract, but about the net income which comes to your bank account every month. If you're Chantal, where did you write it? Where did you write it? The real rent. Okay, 15,350. So if you pay 15,000, let's say 15,500, then your rent is lower than the general minimum of the ministry, because the general minimum is 22,500. So in this case, it would be beneficial for your case to submit your actual lease agreement to your extension applications, because you will actually save 7,000 crowns on the monthly income required, because your lease agreement shows lower rent than the officially required minimum. So that would be definitely recommended. But of course, if your income is not 36, but like 70,000 or 50 or whatever, then you can use the proof of accommodation form anyway, because you will be higher than needed anyway. But if you were just on the border, then I would definitely recommend you to use the lease agreement instead of the proof of accommodation, because your rent is lower than the minimum, which is good. Chantal, great. Thank you so much. You're amazing. Thank you very much. Let's see if there were any other questions. I don't see any. Asem Al-Saban, thank you. My pleasure. Thank you as well for joining. I don't see any more questions. Guys, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask them now, because the official part is over. I hopefully explained everything. Hopefully that was clear. And hopefully you are all making enough or have enough in your bank account, because this could complicate your visa processes quite a lot, especially for the business visas, because the increase there is 12,000 crowns, which is like $500, more than $500, 600 maybe. So that can be pretty significant for some people. So guys, if you have any questions, let me know. I'll be happy to answer them. Otherwise, I will just go. I would show you the dog, but I will not catch him now. He's like, he's getting crazy. Anyway, guys, a bit of promo of myself. Of course, you follow me here, and thank you for that. But I'm on all the platforms. I'm on TikTok, I'm on Instagram, I'm on YouTube, I'm on Facebook. I do slightly different content for each of the platforms. And I'm also on Patreon, where I share some exclusive bonuses, like exclusive videos for subscribers. And I also do live Q&As every month only for my patrons. So if you know Patreon, if you want to join me there and get some exclusive bonuses, please do so. I'll be happy to see you there. Chantal, my husband and I are separated, so will they count him in the financials? We are separated, but I guess not divorced. Yeah. Now, if you're not divorced, they will be considering you as a family anyway. So you can use his income if you wish. If you don't want to, you don't have to. But then you would need to be making enough on your own. Only if you get divorced and report it to the ministry, then they would consider your cases separately. But if you're still officially married, then they will consider you as a family. So you can combine. You don't have to, but you can combine all your incomes. Joy Rausa, thanks for the info. My pleasure. That's why I'm here. So guys, if you have any more questions, today somehow YouTube is silent. No one is asking questions on YouTube. So guys, What's happening? Last time when I did the live stream on Thursday, there were so many comments on YouTube. Some of the comments or many comments on Facebook as well, but it was way more on YouTube. And no one today is asking any questions. So I think everything is clear. Or maybe you all got like stroke or something from the information, but hopefully not. Okay, guys. If you don't have any questions, if you have some questions, please feel free to ask. Navjot, Sinj, Sandhu. Hey, I believe I mispronounced all your three names, so sorry for that. Chantal has some either question or just some notes. I'll read it shortly. And Navjot has a question as well, so let's wait for that. Chantal, I want to reunify the children with me so I can submit his proof of income. Sorry, so many questions. No worries, that's fine. I just don't get it. I want to reunify the children with me so I can submit his proof of income. What does it mean? What do you mean exactly? So now the kids are reunited with him, right? He was the main applicant and the kids followed him. And you would like to now get the kids, let's say, transferred under your name or like under your visa application. That would be probably for a longer discussion. But as mentioned, like if you're still officially married, then you can use his income or you don't have to. So this is up to you. If you need like an advice on how to do that, and like because if you are on family reunification, it would be kind of difficult to reunite your kids as well. But if you've switched, for example, to an employee card and you now want to reunite your kids under your name, that's possible. So if you need any more info about that, just get in touch and we'll figure it out. Rovena, we're still processing the increase. Yeah, Rovena, I'm happy that you survived the information, but fortunately, you don't need to be worried about that. Your visa has been approved, so that's good. But it will apply to you for the next year for the extension. No, that's always something changing with the ministry. But that actually makes it interesting. You know, if everything was the same for 15 years, it would get boring. But with the Ministry of the Interior and all the changes, it never gets boring. So for us, it's kind of a good thing because, yeah, like doing exactly the same thing every day for now, how many? 10 years already? We couldn't survive that. I understand that like 25% increase of required funds in the last 2 years might be kind of a lot. So, So, Navjot, what's your question? What's your question? Please write it quickly. Otherwise, I'll leave. Yeah, guys, on Facebook, if you also have some questions, on Facebook, let me know. Please write it and I'll be happy to answer. And I'm still waiting for one question from YouTube. And after that, if the answers are, or if the questions are answered and no one has not any other, then I'll just finish the live streams. Yeah, sorry, I'm just watching the dog because he has moods as me, because sometimes he's like very calm and like he doesn't do anything, just sleeps during the live streams. Sometimes he just like starts doing crazy shit when I start the live stream. So today is something in between. So that's why I'm just looking at him. Okay, Agnello, hi mate. Hi, you joined in a good time, so I can say hi directly. You don't have to wait until I finish my thoughts. But Navjot, Sandhu, please ask the question. You said you had a question like 5 minutes ago. If you don't ask in like 1 minute, I will just finish the live stream. So please, I will be happy to answer, but you need to ask now. Chantel, what was so funny? Tell me. The dog story or something else? Yeah. Anyways, guys, I hope your week started well and the whole month. Akinatan, hi, thank you for joining. If you have any question, please ask now because I'll be finishing the live stream very soon. So yeah, guys, how is your week and actually April? Because everyone thought it's the summer was coming, I believe, and then we're back to tough winter with snowing and everything. So how you're dealing with that? Akinatan has a question, so hopefully that will be better than Navjot, who had a question but never asked her. Ask her. In Czech, question is a female, so sorry for that. How much funds required to show as financial means? Good. That's actually what I've been talking about the whole time. So can you specify what application will you be submitting for what kind of visa or residence permit? For employee card. Okay, for employee card, you don't need to prove any funds because your employment contract will be the proof of your funds. So there are other rules. This is not exactly connected to the topic of today, because for the employee card, your salary will be the proof of your income. And your salary needs to meet the minimum salary requirement. Those are different levels of the minimum salary depending on the field of your like expertise or the employment. But as long as your employer meets all the official requirements, which they usually do, they don't give you a salary which is below the minimum. And if they do, then don't take the job anyway. But if you have a standard employer and a standard employment contract, you should be fine for yourself. Then it depends if you want to bring some family members, because obviously for yourself, the minimum salary will be okay. But for bringing the family with you, that might not be enough. Actually, it mentioned on website as a supported document. Maybe get in touch with me directly and send me the website, because for the employee card there is no requirement for income. So that must be a very strange website, or maybe they mean something else. Arun KB, may I ask some questions? Of course, but you need to be fast because I will be finishing the live stream soon. Anthony Dupree, how about family reunification? My wife is Czech and a permanent resident. Is there a certain amount that needs to be in the bank for me to move over to be with her? Lucky you, Anthony. If you're married, then you don't need to prove any funds. If you were just dating, if you were applying for a partnership visa, then yes, you would need to show a high enough monthly income, which would be calculated based on the formula I was talking about sometime before, the livable minimum plus your accommodation cost. But if you're married, then the requirement for minimum income is not there. So you're safe. Akinatan, all right, thank you for your clarification. You're welcome. If something is not clear, really get in touch with me. Or what's the best, where I react the most, is actually the comments on YouTube. So if you comment below this video and ask a question, I'll be happy to answer. I usually do it when I have a free time. I will not tell you where exactly I do that, but in a special place, I reply to all the YouTube comments, and I usually reply pretty fast. Gabriel, hi Jan, unfortunately joined late today. How much is the funds for family reunification permit? Gabriel, please, once I finish the live stream, the video will upload. Go through that. I started with that because for family reunification permit, there is a calculation. So I did the whole calculation. So please go through the recording and you'll find the answer there. It's personal, so can you give me email address? I sent mail. Please, yes, comment under the video once it's online on YouTube, and I'll be happy to share. Or actually, if you go to my profile, if you subscribe to my channel on YouTube, all the contacts are there, either in the general info or in the under most of the videos. I have like a short footer with all the information. So please find it there, get in touch, and I'll be happy to answer. Arun, is there any criteria for family reunification visa after getting first employee card? Well, not really. I don't know what you exactly mean by criteria, but generally, your family can apply for their visas even along with you. So if you go to the embassy, submit your employee card application, your family can go with you and submit their family reunification visa applications. Only if you wanted to, thanks for the heart, whoever it is. So only if you wanted your family to apply for a long-term residence permit for the card, which can, for example, allow your spouse to work from day one or kind of day one in the Czech Republic, then there is the requirement that you need to be here for at least 6 months under the employee card, and only then your family can apply for the long-term residence permit. But if they want to apply for the long-term visa, then they can apply even at the same time. I'm not saying it's recommended. The previous live stream I did was about this topic, or one of the previous ones, one of the recent ones. But if they apply for the family reunification visa, then they can apply even at the same time. It's of course better if your employee card is approved first, because then the approval rate is basically 100% unless you make some mistakes. But technically you can all apply at the same time. I don't see any other requirements or criteria. If you have something specific in mind, let me know, but this is the only rule I could think of. Navjot, Diki, thank you as well. Okay, guys, maybe one last 30 seconds, let's say. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Arun KB, thanks. My pleasure. Hopefully that was helpful. Thank you for following me, and thank you for taking the time this late in the day. And guys, if you don't have any more questions, I'll be finishing the live streams. Thank you for watching. Thank you for following me. If you don't follow me on other platforms, do that. I'm on Instagram. I'm on TikTok. I'm on YouTube. I'm on Facebook. And I'm also on Patreon. If you wanted to support me there and get some extra and special content only for my patrons, then that's the best platform. So thank you very much, guys. Nice seeing you all, and see you again on Thursday. Bye-bye. And you on YouTube always get a couple extra seconds because I first finished the live stream on Facebook and then here. So thank you guys as well. Thank you, Navjot, Gabriel. Thank you, Akinathan. Thank you, Anthony. Thank you, Rovena. Thank you all for joining, guys. And good night.